Hi, this is the Jack of Black. This is like my first video where I'm talking in the background. This was a painting I was working on while I was in Germany for the release of Star Trek Into Darkness. It's not finished. There's going to be some flames and things coming from the background, from the top of the pot. But basically, yeah, I'm just giving an update on what I've been doing. My palette's up here. This is really a painting I started in color. I did a template outline in grey, and then I painted over that, and so basically all the colors on one layer, which is kind of unusual for me. I don't normally paint in that way, but yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know, I'm experimenting a bit at the moment, and this painting's a lot more developed than some of my other paintings, which I will get round to showing you now. I have Photoshop CS in German, because actually it's about £100 cheaper to buy it in German than it is any other way. So yeah, this is a good example of this is another example of, you can see I'm kind of halfway through this one, and so there's bits of this in grey and bits of it in blue, and you can see I haven't finished painting, and so when I'm finished, the dragon will probably be in a red and stuff, and then we're gonna have some butterflies because he's gonna be you know, fire-breathing butterflies, you know, the way you do everyday, normal thing. I also try to go for this kind of hyper bright style in my paintings, which a lot of people don't do, but I really want to make the objects in the painting luminous in a way that you often don't see with normal pictures. Here's a good example. I was just pretty much drawing from memory. This was like a 20-second, I mean, like really kind of, well, not 20 seconds, it was about like 2 minutes long, really short sketch of a kind of monk, like old priest monk kind of thing, and I was gonna have him looking over this kind of sci-fi city in the background, you know. Of course, my Photoshop is lagging incredibly because I'm recording this while painting, which is, needless to say, very difficult. But anyway, so yeah, you can actually achieve quite good sketches, but my pen pressure's finally working, so I might actually be able to do some like good painting now. Anyway, some of the other stuff I've got here, just kind of, you know, hanging around in my drive, like not really going anywhere. There were some pretty, yeah, there were some sketches I did. In fact, I'll show them to you via my window opener, which is much easier. One of my finished products. They were just, it's a special type of practice I do. It's a way you sketch over a painting, or a photo or whatever, but you sketch just the highlighted, like whether the light will fall. So I did this. It was a painting of a friend of mine, because it was his birthday, and I don't know, I was just thinking about him. So yeah, and you can see that I've gone and painted the darkest areas first, and done, instead of doing a solid block, I mean, you can see on this one, this was the first one I did, so there's more of a kind of solid block outline that you see there and here, but then later I changed my mind and I started doing a more general kind of darker shading and things like that, and then I kind of left large areas of it whited out, because this was a pretty quick thing, to be honest. It was a kind of, I don't know, half an hour kind of just doodling on the page, really. Then this took slightly longer. This was a proper sketch that I did. It's called the Jack, and you can see that here I've gotten rid of that really hard block outline. I've just gone for something really loose, really general. And then I've kind of gone in on some of the details. His nose took me so much time. And then, yeah, just kind of really general. I probably spent with this more time figuring out how I was going to do my signature than how I was actually going to make him look, which is a bit awkward. But this again was a trace over a picture, just really getting the general outlines and everything. And it's just a practice, because drawing people is one of the hardest things, you know, because it's something recognizable, you know, whereas with fantasy drawing animals, you know, fantasy animals, sorry, it's, you kind of got a bit of creative license and stuff like that, whereas when you're drawing people, you know, there's a kind of set template that you have to conform to, otherwise people won't recognize it, or it won't look good. Here, my crappy signature. But here again, this is a kind of more... I probably spent longer on this one, but I really didn't go over the hair much, because, you know, he looks like that guy who's always killing people from The Simpsons with the really curly hair, Sideshow Bob. Anyway, but yeah, the general face and outline, and you can tell I've kind of done his nose differently here than in the first one, because this took a really long time, and it's really a pain in the ass when I was trying to rub something out, and it looked awful. Whereas in this later one, I've gone for this kind of nose, which is much easier to draw, to be honest, because it's much more geometric. You know, that's kind of curvy and stuff, whereas you can see that I've got the lines here, and I've got, yeah, it's much more kind of template based. You know, you could pretty easily draw up a template and draw from that. Although the angle on that one made it easier for me. Although I would recommend getting, kind of like, I say models, getting, I don't know, a celebrity or someone that you like to trace, or who's got an interesting face, and just tracing them a lot, because it will really help, you know, getting the shapes right and getting the form right. And just doing it a couple of times will help, and it's still, you know, you're drawing, you're painting. And this was actually, there's a video already on my YouTube channel for the shading for this, but this was the final color product, if you don't get to see it on DeviantArt, of Little Nessie. He was, it's the baby Loch Ness Monster. This was before I was painting in 2000 by 2000 pictures on Photoshop, so it's kind of blurry. But, yeah, it's pretty good, and he's very cute. Apart from that, really, that's basically it. Of course, it's my ID, but, yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff kind of hanging around on my desktop that I'm not really doing much with. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, and just as an update, there's also, for the werewolf shading that I've got also on my YouTube page, the original video was much longer, but the software I was using to take the video deleted about 45 minutes worth. Yeah, this is, I'm just going to get rid of this, it's distracting. Yeah, here we can see that I actually went on a lot with the shading, and, you know, it started to kind of take shape, but this was made before I had pen pressure, and you can see that, because, you know, my outlines are very blocky, and there's not much actual change in color, whereas when you compare it to this, the Evil Broth, where, you know, I've got a lot of changing gradients in color, and yeah, it's much more kind of refined than the other one, which was really just a kind of, you know, throwing stuff around. Anyway, so that's it for the moment. This is kind of just a general update of what I'm doing. I don't want it to be too long. And hopefully I will have had some more stuff set up soon. And I'm sorry for the dripping noise. My ceiling is leaking, and that's what the dripping noise is, because it's dripping into a bowl. Anyway, yeah. See you guys later. Click and subscribe, like the